Okay, my name is Alfredo Alejandro Castellón and I'm going to speak about the type of medicines. So, in the type of medicines we have the homeopathy, the herbal, the acupuncture, but in my case I will say that my favorite one will be the natural one, that will be the herbal. Why? Because it is actually something that I really love to know about and also to use it. In my case, I usually drink teas. I drink natural juices, and it is something very useful. But actually, natural medicine is in order to prevent, and it is not recognized as one of the most important type of medicines. But you can use them in order to prevent, because when you want to, prevent sickness, those can make you healthier, and actually those are going to be very useful for you. So that's my point of view, my standpoint. Well, regarding the type of medicines, I'm going to start talking about the homeopathy branch of medicines. That is very interesting actually, and is one of the most used ones in the current world. So in this type of medicine we have other types of the homeopathy type of medicine that will be actually something very interesting. There are some derived type of homeopathy medicine, and one of the most important ones will be the painkiller. The painkiller is actually very useful because when you fall down, when you get an injury, and that injury hurts a lot, what you want to do is to cut off the pain. So the painkillers is are they are I'm sorry they are very useful for that. If you have a headache, if you have a backache, if you have a stomach ache, you buy a painkiller, and those are very useful. But in this case, the painkillers are very useful, but in a short term time. That's what I think, because the type of medicine that is the most useful in long term time will be the nature one. But regarding the painkillers, in the case of El Salvador, when you have a headache, you buy a Panadol, you buy a Salvadol or something like that, that can make you feel better. And those are very useful, so that's why I say that those are ones of the famous ones. And also we have the cold tablets. I don't have to explain a lot about the cold tablets because the same name has its meaning. The cold tablets, those are for colds. And also we have the nasal sprays. Well, nasal sprays are very useful when we have flu, when you are having fever, and are very useful actually. I have one once I used them and was very effective. So that's why I recommend a nasal spray when you have flu. And also the other type will be the cough medicine. The same name has its meaning. Cough medicine, where you use them when you have cough, when you are coughing. So I don't have to explain a lot about that. You know what it is. And also the antacid. It is other things that its name has its meaning. So I'm going to go ahead and pass to the other type of medicine that will be the eye drops, the homeopathy medicine that will be the eye drops. And actually, even though I wear glasses, I do not use eye drops. Why? Well, that's because I don't want it. As I said before, I prefer the natural medicine, and in this case, uh, I don't have irritation, I don't have itchy eyes, so that's why I do not use them. but if I had the need of using them, I guess I would use them. But in this case, the eye drops are very useful when you, as I said before, when you have itchy eyes, when you have red eyes, yeah, irritation. Those are very good in order to you to get better of your eyes, because sometimes when you have the eyes red, you cannot see very well, and you are not comfortable at all. So those are very useful. And even though when you put them on your eyes, it is something that is very annoying, because that's not something that you're going to be comfortable with at the beginning. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about the vitamins, the famous vitamins. Those are very useful in our, in our culture. And well, actually now we know them as vitamins, and are vitamins actually, but before people didn't know about vitamins. Now we know, and we know the specific use of them or what they are useful for. For example, the one of the most famous vitamins will be the vitamin C, that you can find it in the citric fruits. For example, oranges, lemon. You can find them also in carrots. It is not that high the level of vitamin C, but carrots do have vitamin C. So vitamin C is something very useful. What doctors recommend vitamin C for is to prevent the flu, to prevent fever, because vitamin C is something that actually will help you a lot in order to you to get stronger against those type of sickness. So the other type of homeopathy medicine will be the ointment. When you, for example, in my case, I'm going to tell you a little story about when I used an ointment. Once, when I was learning to drive a motorcycle, to ride a motorcycle, I'm sorry, I used to fall off a lot. Well, only were twice that I fell off, but I used the ointment because I had an injury right here, and actually the ointment helped me a lot in order to not get any mark on my skin. So the ointment was very useful, and I do recommend it, but not as a first, not as the first option actually, because there are other type of medicine, but not in the homeopathy type of medicine, but in the natural one. Because I remember that when I did that, when I fell off the motorcycle, I used, in El Salvador we know it as chichipince, and this was very good. I really liked the effect the effect that chichipince has in the injuries. So you can get cured a lot. And of course, we have, as I was saying before, my favorite type of medicine will be the natural one. And I have used it a lot, and it has been working for me a lot. Why? Because, well, in my case, I have many things to do in a day. By this time of quarantine, I have not been doing that work because, well, actually, I work, I study, and I do some activities of improvement. But in the case of these days, I have not been needing much energy. But in the case of the natural medicine, I have been used them I have been using it a lot, because, well, if I drink a tea, for example, of ginger, it's very useful for when you have a sore throat or when you have cough. Yes, when you are coughing, you can drink a ginger tea, and it is going to be helpful. And Also, you can combine it with a lemon. That's something that I would recommend to you when you are feeling like you have a sore throat. So in the case of that type of tea, you have to not to add lots of sugar because not needed, even though it is not that flavorful, or well, it is, but not in a good way. It is kind of bitter. So, and also like spicy, when you feel at the end, when you taste it at the end, you feel it's spicy, but it is something that is going to be helpful a lot for you. So another thing that I would recommend to you is to, well, there are some juices that can help you to prevent some sickness. In the case of strawberry and blueberry, and also, well, that type of fruit can help you a lot to not to get cancer. Well, actually, they are preventive, and well, natural medicine is actually something that we don't know all the aspects of that type of medicine, but the people who do investigate, who do research about the natural type of medicine, is that people are that people that actually are healthier. I would say that healthier because they do know what the vegetables, the plants can be useful for, and also the trees. I remember that when I was a child, my grandmother would recommend me to drink teas of let me well to drink teas of mango actually, and it was something very weird. It sounds actually very weird, but it helps you to get relaxed as chamomile tea can do. So natural medicine is my favorite. In my case, I really like it, and I would recommend in a long term. In long term, I would recommend natural medicine in order to prevent. But if you want to get cured of a sickness, you will have to use homeopathy type of medicine. So I just have explained some aspects of homeopathy medicine, and I hope it is useful for you. And so let's use the type of medicine that you like the most.